Welcome. I am Dr. Angelika Christie, your host of the show, Your Radiant Life After 45. I'm sharing with you skills for healthy, happy, and wealthy women. I show you how to design and enjoy your most radiant life after 45 by really consciously and intelligently designing that second part of your life. So with over 25 years of professional experience as a naturopathic doctor specializing in healthy aging, and as a lifestyle and relationship coach, together with my vast personal life experience, I give you all of me. If this sounds good to you, be my guest here every week on this day, at this time of the day, Saturdays, and let us begin. Yes or yes? Right. Wonderful. So, in today's show, which is titled, Should I Stay? Or Can I Stay? Or Should I Leave? I want to address some issues in relationships. Even though I cannot go deeply into them, I'll give you some food for thought. Yes? Okay, so what I find a lot these days is stress and dissatisfaction in even long-standing and committed relationships. And did you know that the month of January, yes, every year in January, there are more divorces than in any other month of the year? Well, January is just around the corner, but if you listen to this or watch this any other month, really every day can be your January 1st, every day. And so it is important to pay attention, and especially I believe that everything in life is about relationships. So this is why I want to go straight into one of the most asked questions women have around relationships. And I hear this from women who I know personally in my circle of friends, and also from my clients who are women of a certain age. So the question is, as the title of this show is, or this episode is, can I stay or should I leave? So this is a big issue, and it takes a lot of exploration to come to the right answer. At least that is all right for you and for your special situation. Yet in a nutshell, I want to share with you here what I believe is the first question you have to ask yourself. And can you guess what that question is? It's the big question. It's the question why you even started your relationship. And so that question that you have to ask yourself is there still love? I believe that you want to stay in a relationship when there is still love, because all you really need to learn are the skills and get the tools to revive your relationship. And I know this is kind of really short, but there is a lot more. And I will share so much more over the next weeks and months with you. And the other very short answer for this is, so the first one was, yes, please stay, revive your relationship if there is still love. So the question is, when there is not love and no more trust, then it is a bit more difficult and you need total clarity, because you must know that you do have a choice and you must have courage and do what is necessary if you feel that you must leave your relationship. And since I have gone through all of it in my personal life, and I guide women in that situation as well, because I am also a certified relationship coach, I can show you what you need and train you in the skills that are necessary for each choice. For the choice to revive your relationship, yes, it takes skills, tools, and understanding and courage to be as creative and inspired as I believe only women can be. Men are not so good at it. Women are so much better at reviving stale relationships. And if you know that your relationship has come to an end because there is no more love, then you must get total clarity about your next steps and how you want to live. And I can show you how to love yourself free and leave your relationship without taking any hurt or guilt with you, and do it so safely. And I believe that those skills are paramount to even understand about relationships and before you want to even start a relationship. But when you're already in a committed relationship, you must know. And if you do not know, it is time for you to understand and learn how to not only create, but also how to keep and enhance your relationship so that you can thrive and blossom. Blossom in your love to yourself and in your relationship. And it's even more important to know in case you are in a situation that you feel there is no more hope and you believe you must leave a relationship. So it is so important for yourself and also to maybe help somebody else that may need support, that may be in your circle of friends and even within your family. And this is the reason why I teach women how to create, keep, and revive their relationship, and also how to love themselves free without guilt and pain. So it goes into a deeper understanding, together with the skill set that will give you the power of security that you want. In any case, really, no matter what happens. I know that too many women, so many, and many too many women suffer in silence. Do you suffer in silence? I used to. I definitely used to. I used to suffer in silence for a very, very long time. Until I lost weight, I got very, very, I would even say thin-skinned. I got so easily triggered that my whole nervous system was in constant state of stress and in constant state of panic. And it took me a lot of courage and a lot of guts and a clear plan, even though, the plan sometimes isn't all that clear. And I did not see a professional. I didn't see a relationship coach. When I knew that I needed to leave the relationship that I believed was for the rest of my life, and I believed I was married to my soulmate. So why was I so unhappy? Why did I feel so strangled and so desperate and disappointed? That's a story for another time, but I just wanted to give you a little overview. Yes, I left my relationship and it was painful, but I did it, and I left myself free. Even though nobody taught me how to do that, but my spiritual education and just knowing myself, I knew that if I would not be able to love myself free, I would suffer for the rest of my life. So I loved myself free, and I did not burn the bridges. After all, I had 5 children at that time, and I grew during that time of separation and divorce. And the happy ending was really when, after 10 years, my divorced husband and I came back together again. Both of us grew, and both of us understood much more about the dynamics of a relationship and the myth and the truth about soulmates. But again, this is really for another time. I just wanted to share with you that I know all about it. I know about the stress and the questions that are in your mind when you are in a situation that you feel you may not be able to stay in the relationship. Okay, let me take a sip. So too many, as I said, too many women suffer in silence. Because if everything looks all right on the outside, but you suffer inside, you have to ask yourself, why is that? And there can be so many, many reasons. I can only go in very few of them. And so one of them is, does my partner withhold himself? Ask yourself that. Is it because I have the feeling that my partner withholds himself? Does he withhold sharing from his inner self? Or maybe it is you. Are you withholding yourself? And and this actually can be physically, by not allowing your body to be totally open and receptive and communicating your body's needs, for example, in lovemaking, or holding yourself back in any way. Is it you? Is it him? You know that something has to change, right? And it can be a gradual change, or sometimes it can come sudden, really suddenly. Like with me, when I knew, I just created that change, even though everybody was horrified, including myself. But I felt it was issue of life or death. So let me explain something about drastic change. There comes a time in your life when you may feel compelled to change something drastically. And that doesn't have to be necessarily in your relationship. It can be in any area of your life. So if you feel compelled to change something drastically that others will not understand, they wonder why you even consider it. And even you do not quite understand it logically. It may not even make sense to you, but there is a power that wants you to go in that particular direction. It may seem radical, yet there is a power that is stronger than your rational mind. You may leave your relationship, if that's where the change has to come, or create other drastic changes within your relationship. So your partner, your family, and even friends can get hurt. Unbelievable pain. That's how they experience it. So the question is, did you impose that hurt? Did you impose that pain? And most would say, yes, you did, or you're doing, because the person who is suffering really is suffering because of the action that you took. And yet, suffering is a choice. Nobody can control the events in their lives that come from the outside. Events come into your life for a reason. And very often it is for you to change, to grow, or any reason that is not easily and especially mostly not immediately understood. And it is in the human nature that we want for those who we love, we want them to stay exactly who they are, because it feels familiar, it feels comfortable. When you change, it inflicts some kind of pain on the person who wants you to stay the way you are. Or, you are definitely challenging that person. Challenging, yes, but getting hurt is not what has to happen. And it is not in your control anyway. That's right, it is not in your control how somebody reacts to your changing the status quo. You feel you have the right, and you are compelled to follow your strong intuition and that drive that just, you have to do it. So, but let's get a bit compassionate here. Imagine that you are on the receiving end. Yes, if you turn it around and it happens to you, it can feel overwhelmingly drastic, depending on the circumstances, yes? You will be shocked at first maybe and feel hurt and even feel betrayed. But here again, when you turn it around, you also have a choice. You can stay there in that feeling hurt and betrayed and feel sorry for yourself, or you can take it as an opportunity, especially from a higher plane of experience, from a higher plane of understanding. You can bring a different and more mature awareness into it. And not only accept it, but also be open and willingly to allow for things to show themselves, evolve, show up. See it as an experiment and an invitation for you to test your level of maturity. Because the highest maturity you can reach is in your spiritual level of awareness. Whereas in your mental and emotional maturity, there are limits on how far you can go or allow yourself to go. Because there's only so much logic you can apply, yes? Yes, I believe you understand that. You see, there is another language, and that's the language of the heart and the spirit. When you go into your heart, you can find a connection to your brain and inform your brain from your heart's truth, which has its root in love and understanding and compassion. And from there, you can inform your brain and lessen the stress and the conflict. There is another kind of language, and it is the language of the deeper levels of your spirit, of your I am presence. And that internal dialogue is what we will talk about later on in other episodes. It's a very silent or a very whispering language that comes from your soul, from your heart and from your soul. It never comes from your mind. Your mind usually shouts while your soul whispers. But you know, these internal dialogues that can be triggered in your mind, we all experience those, you know, when that self-talk starts. When this dialogue starts with the person in your head who we are complaining to, even accusing of our hurt feelings and how we don't deserve this or that. You know that internal roller coaster, right? That verbiage, yes? What we are talking about here is the call to understand or at least consider the choice of somebody else who, with his or her choice, changes the status quo that you got so used to. And to understand and surrender to the fact that somebody else takes a decision that changes the dynamics of your relationship is really the highest form of embracing and growing mentally, emotionally, and spiritually by applying the one and only true energy. Or you can also call it attitude or value. And that is that of love. Yes, love. Because love bears all things. We know this from the Bible. Some know it from there. But it is a truth that love bears all things. That is true for either reviving and also if you want to leave your relationship. I could leave it here for today, but I want to give you one more example to ponder on. Very often we see and feel how our partner withholds him or part of himself. And this can be physically, mentally, or emotionally. And we quickly see what is wrong with somebody else, yes? Yet when we do that, I want to ask you this direct question. Are you withholding yourself? Are you withholding yourself as part of, or at least parts of yourself? For example, physically, because you can withhold yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, in many ways. But let's just start with physically. Are you withholding parts of you or physically? This can be by not allowing your body to be totally open and receptive, and also maybe not communicating your body's physical needs. That can be in how you desire to move your body. in dance, in exercise, or even in your desires to give and receive love. All of those. So just take a deep breath and go within for a moment and ask yourself, am I withholding parts of myself? And just leave it with the physical body right now. Am I open with my physical body, open in the expression of who I am and love? Or you may love to do a certain sport, right? And you are really very good at it, but your partner does not share your passion. Yes? I mean, that happened to me. I love horseback riding and fast things and running. And yes, I was a fast runner before I got a little slower. I ran at about a 6.5 mile minute. And then I got a little bit and then much slower around 40. And then I started to run marathons. So my husband at the time was not enchanted with me getting up 4 o'clock in the morning, for example, to start my training. And so there are many ways of having maybe stress in your relationship, because what you really love to do is not what your partner or your husband wants to do. For example, my husband is a golfer, so I became what they call a golf widow. I will share so much more about this in another episode. And I believe that there are many golf widows on our planet. And another complaint I often hear is about schedules. So what is your natural biorhythm? For example, if you are a night owl, for example, I am, but your partner is an early riser, do you override your body's needs? You know, there is a bit of a challenge you have, yes? I do, I still do, because I'm a night owl, my husband is an early riser. So sometimes I just have to sleep in a different room to do what I want to do, and also to sleep in a little bit longer in the morning. Now, so often it is the woman really who adjusts. And after a certain time of disregarding your natural body's maybe biorhythm, you may start to feel more exhausted and burdened. You feel like you are unjustly obligated to adjust to your partner's schedule or rhythm. And let me tell you something that's really important, and you may want to write this down. Because with obligation there comes resentment, and resentment triggers the internal dialogue, or rather the monologue of complaints and protests. Like, why is he so insensitive? Why can't he see what I need? So in my course, How to Prosper in Love and Relationships, that I actually start in early January, I dedicate a whole week to those issues of responsibilities, or really discovering what you believe is a responsibility, but is actually a false responsibility, and how those false responsibilities lead to resentment, anger, and sometimes rage. We unpack those issues and dismantle their negative impact on you, your physical, mental, and emotional health, and the health of your relationship with yourself and your partner really depend on it. So that a true alignment, or at least peace and acceptance, can overcome those differences. Because the differences in your schedules and in your own biological clock are facts. So they are not your imagination or his imagination, they are fact. So here's another point I want to make, especially for women over 45. We usually do not see clearly, or do not put much attention nor importance on things that become important a few decades down the road. Yeah? In the beginning of your relationship, when you think back, where you experience this passion and love and the strongest, really. The most, everything everything else seems to fall into the background, and the most important thing seems to be that you focus on that passion, on that love. And that's definitely in the center of your experience when you're young. And then when you grow in your understanding and passion, you can really turn it as you age and things change into allowing it to become a softer and more compassionate way of seeing your differences without getting triggered negatively as before. So love changes, the relationship changes, and passion can be still passion, yet it becomes more expansive, more allowing, more, softer, I would almost say. Allowing yourself to be and to do and to have what is in your natural desire according to what your body naturally requires at that time. And especially when you move into the more mature body, can become more important, and rather than working on sexual fulfillment. And it's another kind of sexual fulfillment, like not maybe like it used to be. Your body does not stay the same, and your biology, your hormones change everything, like menopause. Unless you start feeling how it feels, you have no idea how many women find themselves in a flash of a moment drenched in perspiration. And you may find it hysterically strange or comical when an older woman experiences that. Maybe even your mother, because you may not be there yet, so you haven't experienced those changes yet. And that is wonderful, and still it is so beneficial to think and feel ahead of when menopause happens, or any changes or challenges that may arrive due to getting older. Open yourself to explore how this could be you, so that you can develop a compassion and understanding for women who are going through those changes right now. Maybe even your mother. Any women who you observe who go through those changes because of aging, all of those situations really give you the opportunity to learn about yourself. They can be a mirror for you to behold yourself. And so it is with your relationship, whether it is a marriage, a committed partnership, you will see changes that come with time. And what is needed more than anything else in a mature relationship is a surrender to the biological changes. Not giving up, but a surrender to what is real. And from there, take your creativity and capability to manifest and create what you desire, because you are the creator. So as soon as you open your mind and your heart and your intuition together with your essence, with your sense of curiosity, you see what is possible. And it will be beautiful. It will be a beautiful journey, even like dancing through the challenging seasons and the changing seasons of your life and the changing seasons of your relationship with the partner that you love. So to end this episode, the question is, should you leave or should you stay? There is always a way, one that is compassionate and mature, and one of ignorance. If you can leave and you deny the suffering and even depression, it is really your choice. You can avoid it by learning the skills, really understanding it. So I invite you to explore how you can revive your relationship with yourself and others. Subscribe to my ongoing free webinars and trainings. If you are a woman 45 and over who suffers in silence, even through sadness, do you sometimes feel rage inside? Anyway, whatever it is, message me on WhatsApp with the word relationship secrets, and I send you valuable information about everything that will give you the power to create your relationship the way you want to experience it. The number is 1-305-343-8324. Again, 1-305-343-8324. 8324. I enjoyed having you here with me today. Thank you for spending your precious time with me. If you find what I shared with you today valuable, mark your calendar for next week, because I will go on and share so much more. You can always contact me for any question or comments. So thank you for being here with me. I see you next week on my show again with the next episode. All of my love to you. Bye-bye for now.